Good evening, folks. Oh, good evening. Is that what that's for? Welcome to the Board of Trustees meeting, May 14th, 2019. I'd like to take a motion to close the executive session regarding legal matters and reopen the public meeting. Motion, Trustee Rosillo. Second, Trustee Nell. All in favor? Okay, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd just like to take a moment. You'll notice that our village clerk, Liz Draper, isn't here with us tonight. She had a death in the family. Her brother passed away yesterday, and I just wanted to give her all our thoughts and prayers in a difficult time. And for anybody that goes through this, it's always a difficult, emotional time for them. So we'll just take a moment and bless you. Thank you. So tonight we have a few special presentations. One presentation is by the Downtown Improvement Task Force, and we have Raven David. Raven is with us?
Yep.
Oh, where's Raven? Sorry, Raven, my eyes aren't what they used to be. So, Raven, are you ready to go? Great.
Then we broke for the holidays, and then afterwards in 2019, we continued the momentum and picked up full steam ahead with much more intense data information collecting efforts, primarily through case studies and a community survey, which Mary Mitchell presented at the last meeting, those findings. And then in April and May, we synthesized all of the findings into presentation and recommendations. So this is just a slide of some pictures. I don't think it fully represents all the work that we've done, but here's just to give you an idea of the commitment, the fun, and the support we've had for this initiative. So here are some pictures from activities and from Prairie Festa, the open workshops in the fall, and the different communications that we sent out regarding the community survey. So here is a summary of the data that we collected, which we did both qualitatively and quantitatively. What's noteworthy is from the community survey, we got 929 responses.
Fantastic.
Excited about that. And we also conducted some informational interviews with administrators from 7 villages, which included Duxbury, Bardsley, Irvington, Hastings, Tarrytown, Sleepy Hollow, and Larchmont. And we picked those villages based on what we've heard from the residents and owners where they like to visit, and also Tarrytown from our community survey was the most favorite main street to visit from our residents besides Duxbury. 43% of them said Tarrytown, so that informs where we went to get some case study information. Okay, so to recap some of the high-level findings, I know Mary presented last time on the community survey, so we're trying to put everything together. No surprise probably to a lot of people here, parking is the number one thing people want to improve, and that's regardless if you're a business owner, property owner, or resident. And we found in a community survey that 79% of people drive to downtown, and probably that's why parking is an issue. The other thing that we found from our case studies is that this is not unique to our town. All the villages that we spoke to said parking was probably their biggest challenge, and fortunately, none of them have a silver bullet for this. So the second area that we found that people really wanted to improve was the retail mix, and they wanted more of an experience. So a lot of them want more restaurants and specialty stores, but not just more. They want diverse restaurants, and they want unique stores that provide an experience. So just to point out some of the statistics we got from the community survey, the number one thing that most people want is a bakery. 71% said they want a bakery. And
I'll go for that.
A coffee house with live music and bookstore in terms of what kind of food people want to see. They want to see Greek, Thai, Indian, Spanish, and Spanish tapas restaurants. The other thing that they also noted to go along with that theme of experience is that they want more community activities and special events or festivals. And that will help bring some foot traffic. The third area that people commented on is the beautification and the green spaces. So people are really into the aesthetics. They want a consistent storefront look. They want more gathering spaces and benches, more trees and sidewalk planters, and the overhead wires buried. And then they also commented on having better garbage and recycling efforts. And the fourth thing that we found that was an overall arching theme was traffic flow and safety. Even though it's kind of related to parking, it didn't rank as high as an area for improvement. They wanted to improve the traffic flow. People mentioned having a trolley or a shuttle among the river towns, and also another point is sidewalks and crosswalks. I'll say the two areas that we just talked about, the beautification and the traffic flow, more came up during the open forums and the Ferry Festus and more qualitatively. So a lot of the percentages here are from our surveys, but these two areas, even though they didn't rank as high on the community survey, they were the hot topics at our open forums. So this is a slide from the presentation that Mary did at the last meeting, which is a good summary of all of the priorities that we found. So just to recap for those that weren't there, the community survey was informed by all the efforts that we've done previously. So based on what we heard, we gave a long list of priorities, and people were asked to select 5, and this is an ordering of what came out of that survey. So again, parking is number 1, but then 10 percentage points down below it is some more retail stores. And then the next 6 or so are kind of in the same ranking in terms of percentage, and they all relate to aesthetics and traffic and beautification. All right, just to summarize, what people liked is this intangible quality about the downtown. There's a community vibe, it's friendly, it's quaint, it's unique. They also like, especially the business owners, like the location is very convenient to the city, to the train. People also mentioned the walkability, and again, people love the food here. In terms of challenges, again, it's parking, the retail mix, and aesthetics, and no surprise, that's what people want to see better in the downtown. All right, so with that said, all of these findings findings informed our recommendations. I know I breezed through that, so hopefully I will talk a little bit more once we get to the recommendations. All right, so here we came up with a 3-point strategic framework to organize all the recommendations that we've come up with. So first is build a harbor of commerce. That is more related to the recommendations of aesthetics, retail mix, and in short, the look and feel and the substance of the downtown. The second is improve ease of navigation. That's all related to the parking, the traffic flow, sidewalks, and that's more the movement and the flow of the downtown. And then anchor for infrastructure, which are related to the policies, the systems, implementation, and village services, and that's, recommendations related to the order and systems of the downtown and the village. So I'm going to go into more detail under each of these 3 points. I'm not going to go to everything that we've come up with. We're going to put it all in the full report, but over the next couple of slides, we'll present a high-level goal and then what we listed as a primary action to achieve that goal. So bear with me. Okay. So start with build a harbor of commerce. We felt that the character and the cohesiveness of the downtown was something that people really were looking for. So we mentioned to enforce and strengthen village code, and we'll put in the report the specific sections of the code that we're referencing. But we also think it's helpful to leverage and exist the village groups and resources to develop and implement systems, guidelines, and partnerships to make it relatively easier within reason for business owners to get through AHRB and the building department and have pre-approved standards and fast track for new business applications. Then moving on to the area of green space and making more of an experience, we recommend creating and enhancing more green spaces for aesthetics and public gathering. Something that came up a lot during our open forum is to really amp up the intersection of Main and Cedar to a true town center. So an example of an action is to secure a grant to really make that into a true center of town. And then we also encourage collaboration among stakeholders to develop relationships and an attractive downtown experience. So we suggest maybe creating an events committee that leverages all these representative groups to make more experiential events, like Prairie Festa, Memorial Day, and others. So moving on to the retail mix, we found that during our efforts, we really went downtown storefront canvassing. We visited all the stores. We made an effort to reach out to them, and we found that really digging into the problem of why there are vacant storefronts is a little bit bigger than what our volunteer group can handle. So we recommend creating, implementing a plan to improve the tenant mix, fill vacant storefronts and sustain businesses, and create a new committee to help with this effort. We also heard from our constituents that they want more of an entertainment and a tourism attraction kind of a feel. So facilitate efforts and feasibility for marketing, heritage tourism to leverage all the assets that we have, like the Old Crow Aqueduct, the Historical Society, and other attractions that we have in the downtown, as well as arts and entertainment. So continue to engage with the Chamber of Commerce and other administrations in the villages and local attractions to make a larger tourism marketing campaign highlighting the downtown, much like they did for Larchmont and Nyack. So moving on to the parking, improve ease of navigation. So this was a global need, and it couldn't be just a one-size-fits-all. We mentioned that we allocate parking resources more effectively and efficiently and improve traffic flow. So we know that there was a parking report done recently, but we suggest a more comprehensive study that's looking at all the pieces that relate to the flow of the downtown, so transportation, sidewalks, parking, crosswalks. And as we mentioned, 79% of people drive downtown, so we also want to encourage the use of alternative transportation options. And something that we thought of is to increase existing shuttle or jitney service in terms of hours of operation and stops, including in downtown, and just publicizing it more widely. We also want to encourage turnover of parking on Main and Cedar Streets. A lot of it has to do with the the parking enforcement and the user friendliness and the functionality of parking meters, which we've heard a lot during the open forum. And again, also directing residents and visitors to other parking lots and street parking, what's the time for it, what days can you park, things like that. And then in terms of moving from vehicular traffic to foot traffic, we know that people really like the walkability of the town, but those sidewalks are rather narrow, and when they're cracked and uneven, it makes it hard for people to walk, and it affects the aesthetics. So we mentioned to fix the cracked sidewalks, and because we have a unique layout of the downtown with a long corridor that's an L shaped, we mentioned perhaps looking into more crosswalks on Cedar and Main Streets, perhaps as part of the comprehensive study, and maybe looking at the town square to install at the remaining corners more crosswalks. And finally, the last section, anchor for infrastructure. So fortunately, the village has a lot of great committee groups and a lot of documents. So with all the findings that we've collected, we recommend updating and revising all the village documents to align and reflect what we found, especially the vision plan, which was from 2010. And we found it's also super important to improve the communications with all stakeholders, whether it's business owners, residents, and property owners. And we know this is a lot. I realize what we're going through is a lot. So we realize that there needs to be more efforts and resources for it. So something that I know that has been talked about is hiring a code enforcement officer, and the garbage and recycling was a hot topic among business owners at the open forum. So leveraging other committees like the Sustainable Task Force, the Beautification Committee to help with this effort. Speaking of garbage, install more receptacles at key locations. We're aware that the Sustainability Task Force put an application so to purchase and install new receptacles at key locations. And in February, when we did the Wires Open Forum, which I was well attended and had a lot of information, we know that's not a cheap and easy task to undertake, so we recommend a multi-phase approach to address cleaning up or undergrounding existing utility wires, and to start to connect with the utility companies to remove the dead wires to start. Okay, so the last thing that we recommend as the high-level goal is to implement a system of accountability for recommendations and activity among village and stakeholders. So we formally ask the board to resolve to approve recommendations from this report and consider adopting the action plan that we will submit at the next board meeting. And so hopefully after all of this year's work, this has given you enough to move forward. This task force was meant to be for a year, so we will dissolve, and we put in an action plan who we propose to be owners of these actions, and hopefully we continue the momentum and the support. So just to summarize, here's our 3 high-level strategic objectives. Build a harbor of commerce, which means to reinforce business by curating retail, restaurants, and experiences to attract customers and owners. Second, improve ease of navigation. Bolster patronage by encouraging resources and transportation alternatives to enhance accessibility. And lastly, anchor for infrastructure. Lay foundation by improving infrastructure and village services to build for a brighter future. So as I mentioned, we're formally handing this off, and we think these are the things that will help for implementation that we've learned in our efforts. People love Dobbs Ferry, but they feel we have potential to be so much better. We know that from the 2010 vision plan, preferences were one way, and most of the people that responded to our survey have been here for 5 years or less. So things can change, but that doesn't mean we can't be strategic about how we plan things for the future. But there are things that we can do now that can have value for both the short term and the long term. The other thing that was really, really helpful to make our efforts successful is leveraging points of synergy between different stakeholder groups, whether that's the Chamber of Commerce, Sustainability Task Force, other village groups. The collaboration and building relationships is really, really critical. And we don't want to just have our findings sit on a shelf and grow dust. We're really hoping that there will be action taken for this with the new committee. So with all this, we really want to thank, on behalf of the task force, Mr. Mayor, for putting this task force together and approving it. Christy, now for the idea and the great guidance and leadership for us. The board for the support. Charlene, Liz, and the village staff for helping us to navigate all the intricacies. Elizabeth from the library, who has been super supportive and providing resources. Michelle and Nick from the Chamber of Commerce, who have been champions of our cause. The Historical District Task Force, Sustainability Task Force, the Traffic Committee, the Tree Consortium, Beautification Committee. Throughout the whole year, we've been working with them and finding synergy. And of course, the volunteers from the get-go. We've probably had, over the course of a year, 30 volunteers that contributed in some
Great.
fashion. We couldn't do it without them. And of course, all the business owners, property owners, and residents for their input. We definitely would not have all of this to share with everyone here tonight.
Fantastic. Raven, excellent presentation. That was truly well done. You did a tremendous job. And this presentation is not the full material that the board has received, and we need to go through. And it really was a thorough, complete, detailed analysis of things that we need to look at going forward. And I want to, applaud the whole team of volunteers that did this. I know it. The process was terrific in the meetings you held with residents and business owners, and the survey, which was, I have to give it up for the people in the village that did respond and came back with a lot of great feedback. And just listening tonight with some of the ideas that you've put out there, both short-term and long-term, they're things that we really need to take a very, very close look at. I mean, my favorite librarian, I think, is back here, Elizabeth. And and you have those benches in front. I thought that's a simple thing, but it's a great idea. Like, it's the perfect place for that. And then there's other big things like the wires and trimming those down or burying them if possible. I think, though, it would be helpful, and we'll see what our other members here of the board think, but I think it would be helpful for the board to have some type of work session with your team and go through a lot of this and sort of pare down what can we do short term, what can we do to dovetail it with the village plans going forward, and some things that we have already on the table. We've been talking about sidewalks, and we have some opportunities to do things like that. So there's big jobs and there's smaller ones, but I have to really give it up to you folks. It's really a tremendous analysis that you've done, and I appreciate that. And Trustee Nell, for spearheading this initially with the group, thank you to you.
You guys are awesome. Can everybody stand up who was in it, just real fast, so they can see who you guys
Yeah.
are? Because they don't know who you are.
Yeah.
I mean, they did, like, the lion's share of everything, and they're so amazing, I don't really even know how to describe it. But it is, I think, on us to then take these and do things with them. And there are things that I hope we can somehow communicate that we've been talking about this whole time that are already in progress because we've been talking about it and because we're all still listening, you know, as the workshops were going on, we've been taking that into consideration with budget and budget discussions and just already attacking as a board. So hopefully we can somehow communicate those things that are already in progress, and hopefully we can take some of the low-hanging fruit from the list. I mean, there's like one for each of those, but the report they're getting is probably like 3 or 4 for each for action items that can actually be done. But there's things that require, you know, like an RFP to get a new vision plan, and it's a longer process, but there's things like creating a committee that we could probably do much faster, and that's what hopefully we'll figure out sooner than later.
Right. I mean, I think we have the collaboration with existing committees on a lot of these items.
That's what I wanted to point out. These are terrific, great ideas. Again, money and manpower are probably the 2 biggest issues. So I think this is a great opportunity to really ask people who are on that committee or who have been inspired by the work of this committee and all the wonderful things that they're suggesting to join some of the village committees so we can get some beautification desperately needs people. Traffic can use people. The CAB can use people. You know, maybe we should keep a downtown improvement committee of some
Right.
sort to
Definitely.
keep going. So I think if we all work together, I mean, it'd be great if, you know, the village could do it all by ourselves, but we can't. So, you know, well, we are a village. I mean, it's not, the village isn't just us and the administration. The village is all of you and everyone out there. And this is perfect way to bring the community together, to work together, to, you know, implement a lot of these things. So it's a great job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, hopefully with the committees that we,
The
the
committees
ones
we
that we
have,
call
yeah.
out in the report, we've targeted more specific things they could work on that would help
And they need
really give
people.
them
Those committees
goals
all need
and then have
people,
people
yeah.
on them, you know, advertising those goals.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah, I think if we do a piecemeal, focus on key issues, and then we can maybe put out for the vision plan and see how that meshes together with the new vision plan. We can come up with really specific things that we can focus on and make some real changes, so great job.
Anybody else? More?
Great job. I think that you guys have done an outstanding job, and even from Mary's presentation last week, I wish that we would have more volunteers like you guys, because you guys are definitely an amazing example for the community, so thank you so much.
That's what happens when you tell them it's only for a year.
I don't do that one.
Guess what?
Yeah, I will take beautification members for only a year, 6 months.
That's a good idea.
To say that this report was thorough is an understatement. I
Yes.
mean, I don't know if any of you worked for McKinsey, the consulting firm.
That was, she was
But-
Consumer Reports. She's like
Huh?
data.
That's all Mary.
Mary Mitchell.
Oh,
was
there.
Consumer Reports.
I tell you,
Our data scientist.
I want to form a little company and grab a few of you people. And you really did a terrific job. So, thank you very much.
Probably
And
my second
I love the bakery idea too. I'm all for that.
One thing that is in the budget, and I don't know whether you know it, we are going to hire a code enforcement officer. In fact, we have somebody in mind already, and the board put it in the budget, so it's there. And as for contacting various agencies, the DOT, about the light, yeah, we've done it, and we'll push more. And you know what, with the various wires, my understanding is that I don't know, because Con Ed and Verizon do that. But maybe if I can ask you to petition, I would like a petition from you, saying that we want all that down, so we can even put more pressure on them to do that, because
For cleaning up
The
the
cleaning
mess.
up the
cleaning up,
wires,
cleaning up the wires.
'Cause that's,
Because that's something that we've been trying for a year now, and we really haven't gotten. And I think that with a group like this, if you give us something, that would be very, very helpful.
It's great. I would like to ask the team and any other volunteers that are here to come up and take a picture with the board, and so we can memorialize this moment. It could be the start of something very big. Patty.
I know you love that. Nicole is gonna kill me. Nicole is gonna kill me.
Why don't you stand in front? Oh, yeah.
Don't block me, Elizabeth.
I'm sure they will.
Excellent.
Photoshopping eyes.
Thank you again.
Question, if you contact Liz, the Draper, the clerk, she has all the applications and stuff, or if you give me your information.
No, it's on the website too. It's like, how do I help?
So we're going to have,
You fill out the application.
That would be great.
I needed that.
You know, we have adopted car.
wow.
Yeah.
What is your phone number?
We're going to have a presentation by the Youth Services Council on PSA and the year recap. And the chair of the council, Barry Sherman, will getting ready here to present. Barry, thanks for coming tonight.
Barry Sherman,
Thank you.
co-chair of the Youth Service Council Coalition. What we're gonna do is we're gonna actually break it up a little bit tonight. We're gonna have actually two presenters on this. We have Justin Hampy, who is, works for the police department, he's the co-chair. Kelly Foster, who's the SAS, the person who works for the school, and John Klein. We're just transferring and you're actually gonna get a special treat tonight because our PSA that we did is not yet public, and we're gonna present it tonight here for the first time ever, so.
Wow.
And then actually tomorrow is when it goes public. We're trying to get it to work, so, here's Justin, he's gonna start off.
Good evening, thank you. My name is Sergeant Justin Campy. I'm with the Dobbsbury Police Department, also with the Youth Service Council. I've been with Youth Service Council since 2008, and I've been, not only am I a police officer, I've been a resident for almost 42 years, so we try to do a lot here. Just a little background on the Youth Service Council, because I'm sure a lot of people don't know what it's about, but the Youth Service Council is a group made up from 1975 from the Board of Trustees, and the main mission is, the purpose is to improve the quality of life of Dobbsbury youth, identify and address needs, provide leadership, enable adults and young people to work together. So we've been doing that. We've been doing a lot of good things with that. I'm sure you guys have seen the holiday hustle. That's our big thing we do every year. We do that for the last 6 years. We do a 5K race in December, and we raise money and gifts for individuals within the village, families in need. But in the last couple of years, we got a grant through the White House. It was a drug-free community grant, and we're basically going to tell you all the things that we're doing with that grant and the things we're doing in our drug-free community. And basically, the drug-free community mission that we have of America is to strengthen the capacity of our community, the village, to create and maintain a safe, healthy, and drug-free village. This is accomplished by training, public policy advocacy, media strategies, marketing, training, and events for our youth in the village. So we've been doing a lot of things with members here, and people the village of Dobbsbury is only 2.4 square miles, but we have a lot of things from the public schools, master school, which is a private school, Mercy College, 2 juvenile facilities, everything with Chauncey Square, with movie theater, hotels. So we try to hit a lot of things. We have a lot of things going on in this village, so we try to maintain a presence and be able to, be a drug-free community, which means the entire community. So things that the police department are doing, that I'm doing in the police department, we have our DARE program, which is in the 5th grade, and we do stuff in the middle school and high school, the public schools. We also we're doing, we did a bullying program with Omega Man. He was a big hit with Springer School. He came in, kind of talked to kids about bullying and being self-aware and being confident. And those things kind of build, we're not talking about drugs and stuff like that, but we're building confidence and building, the strength to, say no and to do other things in the community. And also we did the drug take back, we just did that with the DEA. We had over 65 pounds of drugs that was taken in from all the village residents that came in and dropped off their drugs. And, yeah, we're actually gonna do compliance checks, for alcohol and smoking. In the village of Dobbs-Ferry, we have close to 38 alcohol, state liquor authority licenses in the village, so we're gonna make sure that nobody's selling to underage, all that, and, with tobacco as well. And basically, you see our car, the mayor took a picture with our car, we wrapped one of our old.
That's a
our
great
vehicles.
graphic, that car. It
So we
really
put
is.
We invent the vehicle, it says, choose your ride. It's basically half police car, half taxi. It kind of keeps people in mind saying, hey, listen, if you're gonna drink, you're gonna go out, have a good time, you can, drink alcohol, call an Uber, call a cab. It's easy nowadays, you punch in a little thing on your phone, you call a number, the cab will pick you up. So we put that all, at a lot of our events. It'll be, all the events we go to, whether it's in Mercy or in the village. So people like it, they hash it, they take pictures of it, they get the idea, because you can tell if you say something, you put it on a billboard, but when it's like actually a moving billboard, people kind of look at it, and see it, and take time to think about it. So that's what I do as a police officer, and we are going to introduce Barry. All right, back to Barry.
Thanks, everyone. So some of the other things that we're doing is we try to reach out to the community in all the different ways, like Justin was saying. So part of our coalition is to reach out to not only Dobbs-Ferry High School, which we've been really focusing on a lot lately. We're trying to reach out to do more stuff with Master School and Mercy as well. One of the things that we just did this past Saturday night, we did a movie night. So I don't know if anybody's familiar this past summer. We purchased a 16-foot by 9-foot inflatable movie screen, and we had a summer movie series down the waterfront. We ran 6 movies throughout the summer. Some of our busier nights, we had about between 300 and 400 people down there. So and it was a real success. We loved it. But one of the things we just did on Saturday night was we had a movie night at Master School outside for some of the students that live on campus. So it wasn't a huge turnout. We had about 30, 40 kids out there, but it was a start, and it was good, and they loved it. Some of the other things that we've been doing is bringing in motivational speakers. This past October, we brought in Mark Sterner, who is a motivational speaker about drunk driving. And then we did a survey with the students afterwards, and it really hit home, which is what we wanted. So they really liked it. One of the other things that we've done in the past, and we're going to keep doing is a thing we call Hidden in Plain Sight, where for parents only, we bring them in and we set up a room like a child's bedroom, and they walk through it, and there's all different objects around the room, so parents can see what they're missing, and then we go over everything afterwards. It could be from soda cans that you twist off the top and they can hide their alcohol in it, or different kinds of pipes and jewels and all that stuff. We've done it at Master School about 1.5 years, 2 years ago. We had about 150 people there that night, and it was great. What we're going to be doing is doing it at Masters and Mercy for the, I guess they call it resident housing, the RAs or RDs that live in the housing units, so they know how to, if they have to go into somebody's room, they know what they're looking for, as well as all the security. Some of the other things we've been doing is open gym nights in the high school once a month. On a Friday night, we do an open gym. If anybody's been there or the kids have been there, it's been a huge success. Anywhere from 50 to 70 students come out on Friday night. From 7 to 9:30, we feed them pizza, and it's awesome. The kids don't want to leave. So it's a good way of keeping them off the street, doing things that they shouldn't be doing, and hanging out in the gym, playing basketball. And like I said, the summer movie series, which we are already working on for this summer. The first movie will be July 9th. We don't know what it's going to be yet, but come down and join us. Also this past October, for Halloween, we did movie nights out at Gould Park. We had fire pits going and s'mores and stuff for the kids, and it was a great thing. And now that's some of our events. There's always more, and we're always looking to do more things for all the different age groups. So now I'm going to turn it over to Kelly Foster.
Hi, so I'm the student assistance counselor in the middle school and the high school in Dobbs-Ferry. And so some might think, like what does that even mean? And if you can
Yes.
Okay. So student assistance counselor is different than a guidance counselor. So I actually work for an outside agency that puts me in the school. And so my background is in mental health. I'm a mental health counselor. I work in this school and sort of my niche is prevention and early intervention counseling in regards to substance use. So really trying to assess as many kids as I can, because kids are kids and we never really know what's going on. And so I'm sort of the link in that sense to see what's happening there. So in the high school, I really do more counseling-based things. So if it's anyone or a teacher or a parent or a friend, a counselor, whomever is suspecting that something might be off with a student, they might send them to me. The beauty of me is that I'm confidential. So as you all might remember as being teenagers, we want to talk to someone, just someone who we can actually trust and like confide in. And so that's sort of how I've gotten a lot of students this year to connect with me, and it allows me to really get to know the kids on a very personal level and understand how I can better help. Outside of my counseling role, I'm a club advisor, so there's 2 clubs I do. In the middle school, there's one for 7th and 8th graders, and then a separate one for the high school. It's called Youth to Youth. So it's kind of like a new version of the SAD Club that some of you might remember or heard. Youth to Youth just sounds happier, so we go with Youth to Youth. It's not sad. And so we really focus on peer leadership and getting teenagers to figure out, okay, like, life can be really stressful. How do we cope with stress in a way that doesn't have to be related to drinking or e-cigarettes or smoking or whatever have you, fill in the blank with whatever unhealthy skill, right? So we focus on getting these group of people, every year it changes, on getting involved in the cafeteria and getting kids to do a raffle to learn a fact about something. All of these things we do are connected to substance use and also mental health. And so different months will be different awareness activities. So for example, in April, we had something called CODA. CODA means co-occurring disorders awareness. And so my club in the high school went to this conference that the coalition sponsors. It pays for them to go, and it's a whole day of like teenagers going to workshops and learning about different topics and brainstorming ideas on how to talk about mental health and substance use in their schools, which is a really unique opportunity that will then transcend with them when they go to college and they're hearing more and more about these things today. So back to that, so they'll go in the cafeteria and get their friends involved, and their friends see like, oh, who's Miss Foster, like what's she about, and they'll then join my club or want to volunteer for activities. Another piece of what I do is connecting the coalition to the school. So without me, there'd be very little way for them to get involved in all the things that we do. So my mission with the coalition is to get as many volunteers as possible. That gets them excited. So for the holiday hustle, for open gym nights, for the movie nights, for the aqua fest, for all the different things that we do, I really try to get kids involved. If I notice a student might not be being as social as maybe like the normal kid would, or like they want community service hours but they're shy, I try to get them in and try to buy them into being more social and being more involved. In regards to motivational speakers, so after we did the survey this year for Mark Sterner, understanding what works for them. Because what we hear as adults in terms of what messages we take away is going to be different than the brain of a 16-year-old. So getting their feedback on what do you guys want to hear in the school? What works for you in making healthy, safe choices? And so after giving all their feedback, it then helps us make an informed decision on who to bring next. And it's a really beautiful system, and it's very helpful. And then the last piece of something we've done this year is this PSA that you guys keep talking about. And I was on the subcommittee with John Kleinman, and he's going to speak next about really like what was involved in that. And then at the end, we'll show it to you, hopefully. There you go.
Right, so we're going to try to figure this out.
There you go.
Hi, everybody.
How you doing,
My
John?
name is John Kleinman. I'm an adolescent psychotherapist right here in town. I've been in private practice here for about 10 years, and I've been on the Youth Services Coalition for about the same amount of time. We've done a lot of great things. You've heard this from these great folks in our community, but we had sort of an ambitious project this year, and it was to create a public service announcement that we would air. And one of the strengths of our community is that while we have a fantastic sports program, we also have an amazing theater and film program in the high school. And what we thought was that we would try to utilize these kids. And so what we ended up doing was we talked to some members of the community here. And we have a lot of amazing members of the community that are in the television industry. And what they did was they were able to connect us with someone that they were mentoring, and it turned out to be a kid he's in his 20s, Yusuf Kapadia, who used to go to Dobbs Ferry High School, and is sort of an up-and-coming director. He was very generous with his time. He said, look, this is something that means a lot to me. Community means a lot to him. So he got a whole team together of professionals, and he met with the kids. And the amazing part, and what Kelly said, that these kids, if you start lecturing them, you're going to lose them. So it's got to be from them. And so they actually wrote this PSA. This shoot, so we wanted, the school was so generous, and the village, and Jeff, thank you, because I know you had a lot of people calling you late at night to get this done. We had about 10 to 12 kids, and Yusuf and his crew, they must have trucked about 10 tons of equipment into the high school, and the kids were amazed. And they were thrilled to be part of something so positive and really bigger than themselves, and they were just dynamite. The idea of the message of the PSA is that it was supposed to be about vaping, which is a subject that, it's pretty huge, and people are trying to get a handle on it. But really, the message is not so much anti-vaping, but this message, what the kids came up with is pro-dialogue. And you may see it.
Nice, Barry.
In this video, and it's President Barry Sherman.
Oh, yeah.
After this is aired, we know he may release him to Hollywood. Okay, great. This is a pro-dialogue video, and that's what the kids really want. They want people to talk with them. They don't want us to talk at them about how much we know, because they're going to turn to stone on you, and you'll be done. What we want to do is create a dialogue with teenagers. Anybody that has teenagers knows we just want them to be in the conversation with us. And really, that's what I think about the Youth Services Coalition in general, and all the work we do. What we're trying to do is make it a dialogue with us and the youth of the town, and finally we're really succeeding. And I want to thank everyone here on behalf of us for doing such a great job and partnering with us in making these things happen. So thank you. And this is going to come out tomorrow on various, you got to find it, okay. There we go. On various social media platforms, and it will air in theaters. Are we ready to go?
The sound works? Probably just put the microphone close to you. You're holding the mic.
I mean, where's the mic?
Might want to sit to
Yes.
hear it.
Yeah.
That 30-second spot took 10 hours to film.
say.
Yes.
10 hours.
I remember looking at that.
Very powerful.
Very high quality.
The kids didn't want to leave.
I bet.
Yeah, so we just want to thank Maura, she's our liaison, and Vinny was our liaison prior to this, and, they work with us, tirelessly. We do a lot of work, and, we got a lot of emails, a lot of text messages, things get done here, so we appreciate all the help from the board, and Jeff, and especially, let's see very involved the whole time. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Justin, Barry, John, and Ally. Thank you very much for coming to visit with us tonight. There's a few things there that, every community has certain problems with the community. And what you're doing on the Youth Services Committee is really helping the youth in the community. I mean, you see where it's getting kids, I think, Ally, you said, you know, shy, people like me, shy guy. But getting them out of the house and getting them active and talking to other people instead of sitting alone at home and burying themselves on a computer or your iPhone. So it makes a huge difference. What was the basketball player, Chris? Yeah, I mean, there was, you know, a charity tournament, I think, that was done last week in Dobbs Ferry for the Nolan Rich, who was one of our youngsters and things like that make a big difference for the community. So thank you for all the work you're doing. And movies, I stopped down to a few of the movies at the waterfront. They're always fun, and if people haven't heard about this, spread the word, because it really is a big benefit for the community.
We're always looking for adult and, you know, young volunteers too, so we're always looking for more help. So
That's great.
They'll look us up on the village website, email.
Can we get a picture? Can we get a picture with the?
I just say that you guys, I've been with you guys since 2011, and I have to say you've taken it to a whole nother level. So you guys did a great job. And I know Barry told me it took 10 hours to make that. I didn't believe him, but you guys have all wrapped him up on that, huh?
You just
Yeah.
took my words out of my mouth. I was going to say the same thing. It's like, you know, the council has always done a great job by Barry joining our team as our chair. And Kelly, you're doing an amazing job with the kids. I am in some of these meetings, and the dynamic that they bring and the unity and the comfort that they give these kids is just amazing. I remember when they were filming this, that the kids didn't want to leave. I know that some of you guys mentioned it to me, so thank you so much. I'm proud to be your liaison, and you guys do an amazing job, so head down to you guys. Fantastic job.
You know what's great too is the collaboration with the other schools. I was at an event with St. Christopher's, and the library did the same thing recently. That is tremendous for, you know, it's not only our kids and our schools, but the whole community. We're all part of the same team, basically. So keep up the great work. So Patty, did they give you everything? How should, you should stand in front of the chairs, I think. What do you think?
Very talented.
We should have a little permanent thing set up here.
Where do these pictures go?
Goes on Facebook too.
Okay, now everybody make a serious face. Okay, good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Great job.
Just so she has a record of that.
There's a wall in Bob's house.
Thank you, our new photographer, village photographer. Thank you.
Yeah, you're always here. You should be the official photographer of the board.
Okay, so now we're going to go to courtesy of the floor. Would anybody like, Ally? Come on up, Ally Moss. Your street address, Ally?
Yes, Ally Moss, 55 Hillside Road.
Great.
On behalf of the Board of Trustees of the Dobbs Ferry Public Library, we applaud the Downtown Improvement Task Force for their dedication to exploring ways to improve downtown Dobbs Ferry, which is, of course, home to our library. As volunteers ourselves, we know how hard it can be to move projects forward, especially ones of this scope. Congrats to them on having completed such thorough research and profound community engagement. The findings they presented at the last meeting and the recommendations they put forward tonight reinforce our belief that there are many opportunities for collaboration between the library, our village government, local businesses, and the community. We admire how the task force is led from a place of inclusion and participation. As we all work toward implementing various pieces of this plan, we hope that spirit remains so we can continue to benefit from the wonderful synergies unearthed during this process. We can't wait to work together to make Dobbs Ferry a dynamic and thriving place for community, commerce, and culture. I'm going to turn now to my other major volunteer endeavor, Rivertown Public Market. As one of the event's co-founders and on behalf of the entire team, I so appreciate the hard work of the task force, and I'm very grateful for their research and community building efforts. When we first conceived of the market, we believed there was an unmet need in Dobbs Ferry for a food-focused event that could both bring our community together and showcase its finest qualities to outsiders. Last year's festival, which brought more than 4,000 people to our beautiful waterfront park, proved we were right. And the task force's research has revealed the depth of that desire. The Dobbs Ferry community wants more events, in particular ones that involve food and live music, and we stand at the ready to meet that demand with this year's edition slated for Saturday, September 14th. However, Rivertown Public Market serves a purpose beyond providing a single day of fun each year. Given the recent findings from the task force, we know that residents want more experiential events in Dobbs Ferry. We also know that residents would like to see a wider variety of food and retail offerings. This event in particular markets Dobbs Ferry as a destination for food and entertainment and makes it clear that the demand exists for potential new businesses. Rivertown Public Market can serve to attract new restaurants and entertainment and retail establishments that'll stand out and add to the diverse business community, one of the task force's major recommendations. This will both increase foot traffic downtown and expand the tax base, thereby improving the economic viability not only of local businesses, but of Dobbs Ferry overall. Rivertown Public Market is currently put on under the auspices of the recently revived Rivertown's Chamber of Commerce. Our hope going forward is that the village will embrace and amplify the efforts of the passionate and growing team of volunteers who are responsible for making the market come to life.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ally. Anybody else like to address the board? Question? Just,
I got one more thing.
okay.
Separate issue. Justin Campy, Dobbs Police. We're going to have a Spring Safety Day. Is this May 18th, 2018 at Springer School? We're doing that with PTSA and the New York PTA. We're going to do a Spring Safety event with basically a bike rodeo, a child safety seat event, and we'll have the PTA of New York's come down with helmets. We're going to do helmet fitting, free helmets for kids that don't have proper helmets. You could RSVP on Eventbrite, or you could just show up. It's 9:30 a.m. Springer School this Saturday. We're going to have police motorcycles, police bikes. We have an obstacle course. We have Rob Barron's going to be there if you want to see Rob.
Oh, wow. I'll be there.
But it's going to be a good event. We always have a bunch of people turn out. It looks like it's going to be a beautiful Saturday. It's going to be probably hopefully up to 70 degrees. We have a bike swap. If you want to bring in an old bike that you want to get rid of and give somebody else. So it's going to be a fun day. Come out and see us. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Justin. We'll give Justin a hand, too. Thank you. Anybody else like to address the board? Yes, sir? Did you? Oh, yeah. You want to? Sure. Come on up, Anna. Before the library folks leave, thank you very much for the Arbor Day event and the Comic-Con. They were Ferrycon, sorry. But it was fantastic events. And
Your impression, thinking about the task force's recommendations, we started
right.
last November.
Well, I know you. I mean, it was a huge amount of people there. And thank you for allowing me to come and wish with all of you a happy birthday.
I was so glad that he was delighted by it.
Yeah, he was thrilled. So you made his birthday very, very special. Thank you. Okay, Anna, sorry.
Yeah, so tonight there's a motion to consider adding a.
Have to say your name.
Oh, hi, Anna Markowitz, 21 Bel-Air Drive. So tonight there's a motion to create a ad hoc task force for affordability in our town. So I just wanted to take a minute to read the mission statement that we created as a group, so that you know what you are proposing tonight. So the mission of the Dobbs Ferry Affordable Housing Task Force is to explore ways to expand fair and affordable housing opportunities in our village as a means of enhancing the economic, ethnic, racial, and age diversity that makes Dobbs Ferry such a special village. We will analyze the best practices currently being used to implement programs that promote fair and affordable housing and examine strategies to incorporate these best practices into our own community. So thank you. Look forward to getting started.
Thank you, Anna. Appreciate it. Anyone else? Yes, sir.
My name is Leonard Green, 16 Mason Lane. I've lived in the village for approximately 44 years. I had two comments I did want to make. With regard to first years ago, whether the village still owns it or not. But certainly that could have been developed.
We made a parking lot out of that property.
I would also suggest that the money that we received from the parking meters be used towards that venture in the future. As far as the Con Ed burying the cables, we had an opportunity at years ago. Unfortunately, it was flooded.
Right.
You can say that again.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Anyone else address the board? Okay. So I'd like to announce the appointment of Ms. Kristen Munnelly as a member of the Ad Hoc Beautification Committee and the Ad Hoc Ferry Festa Committee as recommended by the nominating committee.
I was there.
Did you want to comment anything?
No, I welcome all of these volunteers. I actually have Miss Jill that actually gave her numbers, and she's joining our beautification committee, so the more the better. So thank you so much.
Kristen, I went to that nominating committee, and Kristen's great. She has a lot of energy, and she just is trying to find
Terrific.
some way to give her time, so.
Love it.
Great. So that's, I'm glad to hear that, and we continue to need volunteers for many, many committees.
Adopt a park, adopt an island.
Okay. I'd like to consider a motion to create an ad hoc affordable housing task force and appoint members Anna Markowitz, Chair, Tracy Barron, Tracy Frisch, Rob, is it Rob Lane?
Rob Lane.
And trustee liaisons, Deputy Mayor Donna Cassell and Trustee Maura DeRozzi. Motion?
Do we have to do a motion to create a?
We don't, I don't think need to,
That's
but
all you.
Right?
It's
Lori
all
Lee?
the mayor.
I don't think we need for the ad hoc.
Not for the ad hoc, no.
Okay.
You can create that yourself.
There you
All
go.
right.
Yeah, we're creative.
It's a done deal.
You just give us your blessing.
Okay, we want to consider a resolution approving the tax warrant for the 2019 tax year. Jeff, do you want to comment?
Just wanted to remind everybody that the levy is $13,935,654. The tax rate is $6.92 per thousand, which is a slight decrease from what we've seen last year.
Yeah. I mean, you know, the budget was approved at the last meeting, and it is 2 years in a row we've either held it flat or reduced it slightly, thanks to the hard work of all the staff and officials in the village and coming up with ideas on how to reduce costs and maintain costs and so forth moving forward. So we need to take a vote on this, right? For the resolution. All in favor?
Did someone second it?
Let's take a motion.
Motion for the resolution, right?
Motion to approve the
To approve the resolution. Okay.
I give
I
motion.
motion.
First, trustee Nell, second, deputy mayor Cassell, all in favor? Consider a motion to approve the audits number 1 and number 2 for May 2019 as recommended by the village treasurer. Comment, Jeff?
Trustee Taylor's not here, but he did
Approve it.
email and approve it.
I did not,
Take a look.
I did not comment on this block time, so.
Okay. We'll take a,
I'll second
take-
this one.
okay. Trustee DeRozzi, all in favor? Okay. Consider a motion to authorize the Dobbs Ferry Volunteer Fire Department to sell 2 vehicles as surplus.
Sounds great.
Sounds, trustee Nell, second. Trustee DeRozzi, all in favor?
Well, I think it'd be good, I mean, does Charlene have anything to add on that, or like say anything about? Just
No,
so-
we've talked to the fire department. Jeff met with the fire department also. We did look at the, they're getting a very good price, and we may have some monies left over. We had discussed getting another truck, was it?
Yeah, police, or no, sorry, fire chief.
Fire chief truck.
Yeah, the fire chief's truck. And with the monies that we're going to save on, that we're going to make on the sale of these two vehicles, it'll be a minimal amount for the chief's car.
That's great.
They actually got quite a bit of money for these cars,
Yeah,
surprisingly,
yeah,
for the age of
It's gonna be a
the.
trade, and for the age
Yeah.
of them, yes.
Yeah. And also, we should mention that all of the engine trucks are now in. So if you've seen the aerial ladder out around town, that was the final one came in. So we have the 2 new pumpers and the aerial truck are in. Okay, so we need a motion. Did we take? Trustee Sullivan, second. Trustee Nell, all in favor? Okay, we have the Heat Smart Grant Program. Charlene, did you want to comment on this?
This is something that we are partnering with Hastings on. Sustainable has been very, very helpful, as usual. I want to thank Jen Dorman for really putting the application together and working on it even when she was in Florida on vacation. And I think that this is much like the Solarize program that we went through. It's geothermal heating, don't ask me what that means, but it comes down from the ground.
I
And
think,
Patty probably knows all about it.
It's where you drill into the,
Yeah, but what it is that if anybody, we're going to, obviously, advertise it, and if any of our residents are interested in it, there will be a discount. Sustainable is, partnering with, I believe it's Dandelion, which is a company that does this, geothermal thing, and Con Ed is really providing the grant money, in lieu of being able to hook up for gas. Basically, the governor got this program together, and the county executive was very instrumental in it.
great, thank you. Okay, so do we need to take a motion on this, or are we going to, does this have to go to a public hearing yet?
No,
No.
no, no, no.
No, no, no.
Okay. So we have a discussion of the request by RTHG LLC for assignment of the remainder of the lease term for Hudson Social, 11 Station Plaza, and the request for a waiver of a 30-day notice period for the liquor license application. And I know that we have 2 owners here, right? Or one of you want to comment or make a statement?
Ron Russo, 85 Myrtle Avenue. Matt Cave, 58 Main Street, Hastings on Hudson. Sorry,
How are you?
of course, a little-
Lost your
a little
voice?
weather.
We won't make you talk long.
And the weather, so, I'm making him talk. I'm used to seeing my mother up there, but it's different showcase there.
I'll get a wig.
So, yeah, on behalf of Ron and myself, this project's kind of come together the last few months of talking, and I actually have had my eye on that spot for quite some time and started talking to Dominic and JD probably 4 years ago about it. So obviously, I have some real good moments with this town, and I still love it to death, even though I live in Hastings now. I still love Dobbs. Cedar Street Grill was my first opportunity to open up a restaurant, and we did it as a family. I'm doing this project as the only K, breaking away from all the other Ks. But we had a really great run, and needed a little break to kind of figure out what was next. And I met with Ron, a while back, and this kind of came together. And I said, you know what, let's do it.
That's great.
And, yeah, and we're super excited. We have some really great ideas. We're gonna keep it the way it is, at least for the summer, just so we can still be operating. We don't wanna go into something and shut down in July and not have a good spot to go. So we'll make some good changes, both with the service and the food, at least for the summer to start, and then build some really cool things to come. So we're excited. I hope you all are. I think it's gonna be a great thing. And
You're ready? I'm back.
Well, welcome back. We're glad to have you back.
Happy to have you back.
Yeah.
Just a couple of comments. I looked at doing this probably 6 months ago, without Matt's involvement. In fact, I talked to him about it. But it really came together when Matt was really kind of tired of not being in the restaurant business. Tired of not being And I think that, we're taking over a successful institution. I think it could use a little bit of love and care. And I think we want to make this more upscale, family-oriented, commuter-oriented. We want to bring back Cedar Street Burger. It's a big thing, but no, we're looking forward to making this into a successful
That's great.
local establishment.
Well, we're glad.
And good for the commuters too. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that's what the focus was too. You might get a little bit of your bakery you might want out of it, so.
Yay.
There it is.
So, there's gonna be a good cafe in there to come. It's gonna take a little bit of work, but that's one of our main goals, to put a really good cafe with some really great artisanal, baked goods and things like that. So, it's gonna take a little time, but we're gonna do it the right way, and it's gonna be fun.
Well, welcome back to the kitchen.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to the burgers and the buns.
So, thank
That's
you all.
great. Good luck.
Best of luck.
Yeah. That was actually initiated with the previous owners working through the LDC and the Board of Trustees. So it's great to see that business continue, and I'm sure you'll be very successful. Thanks. So I mean, I don't
Mr.
have
Mayor,
any. Yes.
Can I just add, the reason why this is an assignment and not a fresh RFP, you went to RFP in order to find the initial, it's a 10-year lease, so these gentlemen are actually going to be taking assignment of the remainder of that term. So, and to facilitate a quicker turnaround for them, you're also being asked to waive 30 days notice, municipal notice for them to make an application for a liquor license. So if you did not approve that waiver, they'd have to wait 30 days before even applying for the liquor license. So this way, they can hit the ground running, and it seems to make sense. All of which will happen once their closing is scheduled and they can move forward. But as long as they have the approvals and the waiver in place, if that's what you would like to do, then upon closing, they'll be able to proceed pretty quickly. So that's why there's a resolution before you with the details of what I've just explained and why you're moving to approve an assignment tonight and not deciding to go to an RFP. I just wanted the public to understand it was an assignment of the remaining lease term.
And to give you a sense of timing, we've already signed a contract with the current owners. I've spoken to Lori a few times, and we've asked for we've given a letter. There are some issues with outstanding balances, which are going to be addressed at closing. And closing should be, we're hoping to have closing done by the end of June. So it's aggressive, but we're trying.
That's great. Thanks, Ron. Thanks, Matt.
So you have a resolution
I
in
will
your
have
package.
a motion to
and
approve.
a motion to pass the
To
resolution
pass
as
the
written.
resolution. Okay. So I'll take a motion. Deputy Mayor Cassell, second. Trustee DeRossi, all in favor?
I'm recusing because of
Because
my
you're-
relationship with
Okay,
them.
great. Great, thanks. Appreciate
Good luck.
Yeah, I'm sure you.
Congratulations, guys.
Okay. Review the application from Hilton Gardens at 201 Ogden to convert 5 suite rooms into 10 individual rooms for referral to the planning board for site plan change. Do you want to introduce yourself? And thanks.
Village. I'm here tonight on behalf of White Marsh Hospitality LLC, the owner of the Hilton Garden Inn and the Town Square. We're here tonight seeking a referral from your board to the planning board. I'm not asking for any final action or determinations tonight. There's a site plan amendment that's proposed simply to convert 5 hotel suites into 10 individual hotel rooms. So it's increasing the total number of hotel rooms capture the demand for these hotel rooms. They've been doing very well. They've had an increased number of sellouts, but the demand for the suites just isn't as strong as the individual rooms. And there'll be guests in the platinum rooms that will be able to frequent all the new bakery and the restaurants and the other restaurants. So, we view it as a win.
My understanding is that the parking is sufficient.
Thank you, yes.
That was my question. I mean, the parking, there was enough parking spots there?
Yes.
The original approvals, the parking chart was one space per room, and Rivertown Square has been overparked.
Yes.
There is sufficient parking to accommodate the 5 additional cars.
I happen to be in the industry, so I just have a question. Are these suites equally, all 5 of them, the square footage and the description of each of them is the same?
I believe so, but I can confirm that with the private architect.
They are then considered to be a 1-bedroom or 2-bedroom? They are 2 bedrooms each, right?
It's one room, I think,
Yes,
right?
it's one suite that has 2 rooms with 2 bathrooms. So a couple of them are king suites, a couple are queen suites, and now they'll be individual rooms.
Okay, so then the living room section will be added a bed?
Correct.
Okay, just wanted to make sure. Thank you.
So we're just referring it to the planning board.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's
Yeah.
all
we're just referring it.
before you vote.
Okay. Trustee Nell, second. Trustee Drozi, all in favor? I don't know if we can take comment on this.
All I wanted to ask was, wasn't the number of units part of the agreement when this building was all okay?
That's why it's going to the planning board.
Yeah, well, it's,
You need the microphone, Mayor.
yeah, it's actually going to the
No,
planning.
he needs to come and
Oh,
make his
I'm
comment
sorry.
on the microphone.
Weren't the number of units part of the agreement for this building to get started even? And if so, what are we talking about here? You got an agreement, you got it signed, that's it. No. Thank you.
Thanks, Bob.
I think that issue will be addressed at the planning board.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're not making a decision on anything tonight.
Yeah, I mean,
And the square footage is the same.
Yeah, exactly. The footprint
Yeah.
is staying the same, square footage is staying the same. We recognize the original approvals were approved for 138 rooms. We're here seeking an amendment to that approval. There's a process in the land use and zoning world for amendments to previously approved site.
And if I may add, because I'm a director of sales for a hotel, those rooms, although they are qualified as suites, the hotel does sell them individually because that door that is in the middle sometimes can be sealed and the rooms are sold separately. It is not,
The number of units was set.
Right.
so they are
It was-
requesting a change.
Well, we'll check.
No,
The
it
planning
wasn't-
board will check.
You're right, it was set in the planning, in the
That's the
site
nature
plan
of the
agreement.
Does it make sense what I'm asking?
Yes, the nature of the request is for an
Yeah.
additional 5 rooms. So that's what the planning board will be looking into and referring, if you refer it to them this evening.
Because the number of rooms was specified in the site plan.
Correct.
Right.
5 rooms is not gonna,
Well, that's what we have to say.
Yeah.
Well, that's why the planning board is reviewing.
Right, the planning board will review the request for an additional 5 rooms. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll take a motion to.
You already did it.
you already did.
Oh, we got,
Yeah.
it. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Okay. Consider a motion to authorize the village administrator to sign the 2018-2019 stormwater annual report.
George Palmer does the testing of our stormwater issue, but when we have it done, we have Dolph Rodfield does the report, and this is the report. And luckily, it says that we are in compliance with everything we should be in compliance with. I mean, one can go through each one of them, but I think it's late in the evening, and suffice it to say that we are in compliance and our speedies is fine.
Great. Okay. So do I have a motion? Deputy Mayor Cassell, second. Trustee Sullivan, all in favor? Consider a motion to award the bid for the Dobbs Ferry Public Library HVAC annual maintenance contract to the sole bidder, K&S HVAC, for an amount of $3,000 as recommended by Ms. Elizabeth Hobson, the library director.
She has done this in conjunction with DPW and Jeff, so.
Okay. Motion? Trustee Rizzuto, second. Trustee DeRossi, all in favor? Great. Consider request from Jazz Forum Arts for $10,000 for the production of 10 Wednesday concerts, and authorize our treasurer to expend the $10,000 to Jazz Forum Arts.
Did they do this every year?
This is
Yeah.
every year. It's
Every year.
10 concerts during
Yes.
the summer, Wednesday nights. Seems to have been a success year after year. So
I really like them.
everybody likes them, yes. So do I have a motion? Trustee Rizzuto, second. Trustee Nell, all in favor? Consider a motion to schedule a public hearing on May 28th, 2019 to discuss and consider certain changes to the affordable housing provision of the zoning code as recommended by our attorney for the village, and to schedule a public hearing on May 28th, 2019 to discuss and consider certain changes to Chapter 175, Fees of the Village Code, as recommended by our village attorney.
Yes.
Lori Lee, would you like to
I will.
make a comment?
Yeah, where I'm bringing forth two introductory local laws. They're introductory because they're subject to revision as the process moves forward. The first one is code revisions to Chapter 300, that's your zoning code. And these are the provisions regarding affordable housing. These revisions are necessary in order to implement provisions set forth in the model code provided by the County of Westchester. It modernizes your provisions as to affordable housing. The set-aside is still the same. It expands some of the set-aside to address a larger demographic. These model provisions were set forth by the county, and they're recommended. They're also a prerequisite for your applications for your CDBG grants, which are administered through the county as well. So this catches up all the model provisions that the county would like you to include in your code. The introductory local law will be circulated and made available to the public. I'm hoping you'll set a public hearing on the 28th and refer this to the planning board. And also, it needs to go to county planning because it's a change in your zoning code. I'm going to seek out your planning consultant to be sure that we accommodate the seeker that we need to in order to make this change, because it will be village-wide, applicable village-wide. So there are some reporting necessary on the seeker's side of this. The second introductory local law is introductory local law number 2, and this is a local law that actually replaces a chapter in your code, Chapter 175, which has to do with fees that you collect, fees that you assess, charges that you make, application fees, review fees, inspection fees, and the like, and also the fees that are established in the clerk's office for providing copies of necessary documents. What we're proposing to do is to remove the fee schedule entirely from the code and create a master schedule that will be maintained by the clerk's office. This allows you to accommodate requests from members of the public and residents to accommodate programming in the village. It allows you to make changes necessary to encourage use of public facilities. It allows you to do that with a resolution on the record, and also then it allows for you to do it more quickly. Because you have your fee schedule in your code, it's a minimum of 60 days with the notice requirements and the hearing requirements and the votes and the necessary to make those changes. So this will streamline your process. Many of your neighboring municipalities and municipalities that I'm familiar with over the years have gone to this system, and they find it to be very effective to be able to streamline and also to be able to accommodate requests from the floor to encourage these events that the downtown task force are recommending, provisions for you to reduce fees for peddling and soliciting for larger festivals, and also to put levels of costs associated with rentals of your public facilities, such as your parks.
In truth, it's an archaic form just to have local laws for each individual fee. So this is, I agree with Laura Lee, it's the most effective way of doing this.
Anything that streamlines the process is
Yes. And it saves us money
plus.
from not having to change the code, because even crossing the code,
Right.
changing the code costs money.
That's correct. And it all comes to use of resources that aren't necessary, and it also delays requests specific to different things. It'll give you a chance to look at special events and to look at an overall comprehensive look, and annually you'll put a schedule in place at your reorg meeting. It gives you an opportunity to ask the different departments if they have recommendations for increases or decreases or changes, and it really does help for a more collaborative effort.
So right now, we're just we're just
setting the public
setting
hearing.
a public hearing, so everybody can talk about it
Yes.
more.
This is to set a public hearing on the 28th. This isn't a zoning code change, so it doesn't need to go to the county. You may be actually able to move this quicker, depending on the deadlines, but again, this is to set the public hearing and to circulate and make available to the public as necessary.
As to the affordable housing, we have a member of the Westchester County Planning Board sitting right before us, so I'm sure he will help shepherd this through, not the vote, just shepherd it through. No, nothing ever is a
There's
slam dunk.
There's
Thank
a
you, Rob.
mandatory 30-day waiting period, but if we can get this turned around at the county, they can make a determination as to whether it's a major significance or not, quicker than the 30 days. That will help you to move this forward.
great.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's do it.
So take a motion.
Why don't you do it separately on introductory local law 1 to establish, there's a resolution in your packet to establish the hearing date of the 28th.
May 28th.
May 28th at 7:30 or as soon thereafter as the matter can be heard, and to make the necessary referrals to the planning boards that I mentioned.
Okay. So
This is introductory.
local law number 1.
Introductory local law number
Number
1.
one.
This is the affordable housing provisions of your zoning code.
Okay. Motion, trustee Nell, second. Deputy Mayor Cassell, all in favor? Okay, and
And you
local
need
law,
Local law, introductory local law number 2, which is to repeal and replace your chapter 175 of the code having to do with establishing fees, a new procedure for establishing fees.
motion. Trustee DeRozzi, second. Trustee Nell, all in favor?
Thank you.
Thank you, Lori Lee. Thank you, Rob. Consider a motion to approve a request from Mr. Victor Granuzzo, Ardsley School District, to put up signs for the Ardsley School budget vote at various village locations. Motion? Trustee Rosillo, second. Deputy Mayor Cassell, all in favor? Consider a motion to approve a request from Miss Paula McCarthy, Our Lady of Pompeii Church, to hang a banner at the Stop and Shop fence beginning on May 20th, 2019.
Do you know what the banner is?
Advertising a rummage sale. It says it's advertising a rummage sale that we will be sponsoring on Saturday, June 1st, 2019.
Cool. Go for it.
Okay, motion? Trustee Rosillo, second. Trustee Nell, all in favor? Okay, we have the approval of the minutes from April 23rd, 2019. Any comments? No? So the minutes are approved. No motion needed for them. chastised, Nathan. Reports and announcements, Trustee DeRozzi?
We are actually working currently into establishing what we are going to do for our beautiful village and the beautification. I'm working with Jen. Thank you so much for your help, and Stephen. So very soon, a lot of the volunteers are going to be hearing from me where we are going to establish what we are going to be doing. As I have announced before, we are kind of reinventing the beautification. So there's some very, very nice ideas flowing, and we're doing a quick test of what we wanted to do. I will welcome anybody's input. I'm going to actually come up with a few ideas. I got an email from Vicky Jones today about an idea with some of the stuff that we can do around the village. So if anybody has any ideas that they want to share with me, please send me an email. I'm very open to just looking into what makes everybody happy and make sure that we all together can make this village even more beautiful. I think that last year everything looked so nice, but we're looking to make it even nicer.
Great.
I want to thank really the Youth Service Council once again. This team dedicates a lot of time to our youth, and they do a really, really good job with these kids. So thank you to Barry and John and Kelly and, of course, Justin. They really, really put a lot of effort into what they do, so I'm very proud of the work that they display here. At the same time, I would like to say thank you to Helene Sorenson, who has been working with the council, but she has resigned from her position. She is going to be focusing on her full-time job, and we wish her well and thank her for her service to the Youth Council and to the community. That's all I have.
Great, thank you, Trustee. Trustee Brown? Nothing? Trustee Sullivan?
I did have something and now I forgot. Because I just had a really long day.
Want me to skip ahead?
No, that's okay. There's a movie on Friday at the library, Three Amigos, from 8 to 10 p.m. And then Friday, May 24th, when the kids are off from school, they're showing Spider-Man from 1:30 to 3:30. And then you can go to the Dobbs Ferry Library website for all the other great events they had. I also know that the Friends of the Waterfront are looking for people who may be interested in assisting with fundraising efforts. So if anyone is interested, you can shoot me an email and I can connect you with the Friends.
Great.
Oh, and I know Zana's probably going to say something about the cardio van, but I did attend the senior, Abby organized the cardio van, and I had to say it's one of the most fantastic things I've seen come through the village. And it was really impressive and amazing, and it was really well organized, and they actually found like problems that people didn't know they had. So
3 people had aneurysms, I think,
Yeah.
they found, yeah.
You know, it was really fabulous. It was so thorough. It was amazing.
It was.
And the way they had it set up was like clockwork, you know. They did a terrific job. I think it was a great thing to have for the village. for the
Yeah.
seniors.
And it didn't cost the residents
Anything.
anything. They
Just
accepted
insurance. It's
insurance,
covered
and
by
it-
insurance.
so it was really
It
great.
was very well done. They had a nice lunch and breakfast, didn't you? Depending on what
I
time
missed that part, I guess, because I was the first appointment.
Thank you, Trustee Sullivan.
Yeah, well, for
Deputy
the
Mayor?
fan, that was it. Just a traffic thing, a couple of traffic things. It was remind you about the bike rodeo on Saturday. Justin did that, so I don't have to do that. There's something else I want to mention. With the coming of summer, there's going to be a lot more people in the streets, a lot more bikers on the streets. And I just want to remind people, there's a law called Merrill's Law. You must pass bikers in a cautious manner, in a safe distance. This seems to be becoming a problem in our village now, and it is the law. You cannot close call a biker on the street. So please be aware that bikers are out there for the summer. Not only is it courteous and proper to do, it's the law. And also, I just, on the beautification, just a quick little shout out to Bob Adamski, who donated some bulbs to the village.
Thank
you.
Thank you, Bob. That's great, very, very nice. There's a few things I'd like to, oh, I'm sorry.
You always say you have nothing.
I have to report that on Saturday, Donna and I went to the waterfront
right.
Clearwater cleanup day, and I think I broke my
River
back.
sweepers, yeah.
River sweeper, picking up some big stuff out of that river, so it
We have a
was
great picture of him carrying a door out of
a
it.
door out of the river. So it was.
potty?
The porta
He
potty.
didn't do the porta potty, he did the door.
I did the door. It was very well attended. We had kids from Ardsley, the Concord School, and we had kids from Mercy College there, and a whole bunch of other groups. So it was a great day. I heard Bob, you stopped by, but
I did.
didn't
When-
hear you put on any gloves on and pick up anything.
Actually, they told me you and Donna are over at Hudson Social.
So that was a great day. And then we also stopped by, which you're probably going to talk about, is the library, the
Comic-Con.
Comic-Con thing.
The
So that was
library.
great also.
Very
Very
kind.
kind. That was awesome.
That was a really great afternoon. I do want to mention tax season. I hate to say that word, but tax season's coming up, real estate taxes. And during the year, we do get letters from people. People show up that sometimes they forget to pay their taxes. And we had one recently. I feel for the people that, they forget, and then they come in, and there's a penalty if you don't pay on time. So I just want to, it's a 30-day window. It starts, the invoices go out the last week of the month, and then you have a 30-day window to pay. It's June 1st through the 30th.
30th, but the 30th falls on Sunday, so it's through the 3rd.
Okay.
With no penalty.
So let's keep that in mind. On the infrastructure, the pool is moving along. I drove by there today. It looks good. They're out there working, even in the rain. So that's good, and they're still on schedule. So that's even better. And hopefully we can have that opening at the beginning of summer for the camp. Same thing with the community center. I took a walk through with our recreation superintendent, and the sheetrock is up on the main section of the building, and it's really looking much, much better. So that's great news. We have the Memorial Day Parade, and it's on the 27th, Memorial Day. Starts at 11 o'clock. It's going to begin at Mohegan Park Avenue, and we're going to make a few stops. We're going to stop at the Little White Cemetery, and then we're going to march down to the high school, and then we'll have speeches at the high school, at the monuments there. We have the school band, and then we're going to march down through Cedar and Main, where we do taps at the church there on Cedar and Main, and then down to Memorial Park to put a wreath at the memorial there, the monument there, and then down to Waterfront Park for refreshments after that. So we do have a bigger parade this year. There's going to be a couple of bands. Thank you to the fire department for paying for one, and the local development corporation for paying for the other. We have the Little League has agreed to march, Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts, and all the nursery schools. So it's going to be a nice event, so try to join us that way. So I'll take a motion then. Oh, yeah, at the library. Comic-Con, or Ferry-Con, it was. It was, from what I understand, there was about 400 people there. So it was a huge event, and it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. And, Steve Hunter, who's the chair of our planning board, was celebrating his 80th birthday the following Tuesday, and we didn't find out about it until the last minute, and there was a decision, where could we hold this, to celebrate Steve's birthday, and I called our library director, Elizabeth and Hobson, and asked if she would mind. I was going down to give out some of the awards at the event, if she'd mind if we had the little birthday celebration down there. So everybody at the place, we read the proclamation, and everybody sang happy birthday to Steve. I didn't know how he'd react at first, because Steve is, I would say, a very conservative, straightforward guy. So all the people in costumes surrounding him singing happy birthday, him not expecting it, was quite a sight. We have it on video. We'll put it up online.
Put it up on dobbsperry.com.
Yeah. Anyway, anything else I may have?
I think that's it.
That's it? Great.
Motion
I'll take a motion to trustee DeRossi. Trustee Nell, all in favor?